Hello, my name is Luke Walsh and welcome to March's ED TV News. This month we're reporting from Ecobuild, arguably the world's largest environmental show, where the government's position on FITs has upset solar businesses. There's also a preview of Water NI 2011, and we speak to the judges as they decide the winner of this year's ESTA Energy Manager of the Year. Firstly, we speak to Shadow Energy Minister Hugh Aranka-Davies, who has thrown his political weight behind a campaign to save solar power. The Labour MP feels that the UK solar market is increasing, but that is threatened by the current government's review of FITs. Speaking to EDTV News at Ecobuild's packed solar hub, the Minister explained what he would do differently.
Well, I'm here because the campaign has got a very good aim behind it, which is to get the government to think again about what it's doing with feed-in tariffs. We've had just short of a year of a real success story around the rollout of solar. We've had jobs created throughout the UK in manufacturing in places like Sharps in Wrexham up the road from me, but also throughout the UK in installation and servicing. We see new accredited installers being set up by the dozen in every area. Fantastic. And then all of a sudden, the blocks are put on the scheme. And it's a real worry because it's not just the uncertainty now, but it's the fear that people have that the government isn't committed to renewables in the way that they said they were. So the purpose of this campaign, and that's why I'm here supporting it today, is to say to the government, think again. You're being a bit premature, you're using a sledgehammer to crack a nut here. Just tweak it, refine it, calibrate it, and then get on with delivering what was a real job creation scheme as well as a carbon reduction initiative. Feed-in tariff schemes traditionally right across Europe tend to be based on this idea of digression. You set them up, you get the industry over that initial investment hump, and that requires, yes, upfront money to do it, which the feed-in tariff is, and then periodically a government would revisit it and would perhaps scale it down once the industry was up and running, the manufacturing base, the British jobs were there. Then you'd scale it down and you'd take away the public support little bit by little bit, calibration, instead of bringing forward a review, capping the scheme, taking 10% off it when you review it, and putting this uncertainty. If there's one thing that ministers know and should know, is you don't put investor uncertainty into any market whatsoever. So that's what we do if we were in government. We'd keep it going as it was set up to do. So there's time to change their mind.
Northern Ireland Water's recent performance can be summed up in one word: shambles. Edie's parent company, Faversham House, is holding it and its regulators to account at a conference in Belfast called Northern Ireland Water. The utility regulator last week found that Northern Ireland's infrastructure was better than most of the UK, but its executive leadership had an inability to execute emergency planning procedures. EDTV News will report from the conference in its next bulletin. EDTV News was at the judging for the ESTA Energy Manager of the Year this week, although we can't reveal the winner as no one knows that until it is shown at Sustainability Live later this year. We can give you an insight into how the three judges made up their minds.
I think the Energy Manager's role has really evolved from being one where it used to be people who kind of worked in boiler houses and were very mechanically or electrically focused, and that's obviously still a very important part of energy management. But as that role evolves, it's becoming a much more important role in companies generally, where those people are looking not after the technical side of things, but need to get themselves involved in the operation of the company, in the way that people work within the company, and also how that affects their lives as well. It's not something you can just isolate and say, this is our area of influence and we're going to stop there. You know, the people that really kind of impact very strongly on these awards are people that give a personal contribution and are looking to further boundaries than just their own organisation.
We're looking for exceptional energy managers who are going beyond more than complying with regulation, who are really having a strong influence over their organisation, who can influence the boardroom, secure investments and generally get things done.
Well, what we're looking for is people that can demonstrate they've got some particular ideas and innovations and novelty which they're bringing into the profession. I mean, it's a need that's been out there for many years in terms of managing energy, and the challenge often is that organisations don't take it seriously enough because energy costs aren't, a particularly high proportion of their operating costs. but nevertheless they might be significant sums of money in terms of what savings can be made. So getting energy to be taken seriously and on the board of directors programme can be challenging. And having got it on the programme, a lot of the success depends on engaging your staff and colleagues and getting funding to make things happen. And so the Energy Manager is very much in the centre of all that in terms of understanding what the technologies and the opportunities are about on the one hand, and then persuading colleagues and others to help work to make things happen and deliver the results. So what we're looking for is examples of success in that regard, which comes down to one person who has made things happen, has had the ideas, come up with some innovation and delivered some results. And so that's what the challenge of energy management is about. And the Energy Manager of the Year is us trying to look at them all and decide which one has done the better job, which is always a great challenge for us, the judges.
Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.